Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today I have my LED lighting kit, and it basically goes underneath your cabinets to light up your counter. So let's open this up and see how it works. It's a Bluetooth app controlled, so that's pretty neat. So let's get everything out. There's a bunch of things that are in here. So this is basically your user manual. It gives you some kind of idea of how that is all going to work. So you have a power supply. And then this is kind of like the controller that you can use. And then give you an idea of what one of the lights look like. We'll open this up. So very thin profile wise, so that's pretty neat. And then you have a bunch of different connecting wires, so you can mount them. So basically you have one wire that goes into one, so you will have your power supply when that's hooked up, so that will connect into one end like that, and then this will hook into, let me get the right angle on this, that'll hook into the end of that one. But then if you have a second light or a third, so you can mount that. Let me just get the right orientation of this. Okay, so then that's kind of like how that, depending on how far of a cabinet run you have. So you have a bunch of different adhesive strips that you can use. You do have some mounting screws as well, so you can like mount it permanently up underneath into your cabinet area. So that works out pretty well. And you can tell it's got that little screw hole right there, so it'll probably be pretty quick and easy to put in. And I think the screws are just long enough to cover. Let me get one out of here. So they are long enough that underneath you'll have just enough clearance to kind of like bite into the bottom of your cabinet. So it's a pretty small screw. So anyhow, let's plug this in, get it connected underneath a couple cabinets inside the kitchen, and I'll be right back. Okay, so in my kitchen I basically have this L area, and it gets pretty dark here at nighttime, so this is definitely going to be a great benefit. So what I'm going to do is I basically set up this configuration, so we have the wire stretching across, and something in the kit that it comes with as well is it has this straight extender. So if you're going to have a piece where you wanted one long connection underneath an area, you'd be using that. So for our purposes, we will just be using the connector. Now connect in like that. And again, you have your two screw holes here, but a simplified way of doing this is you can use these two adhesive strips to mount. And basically what you do is you just pull the backing off, and then just line it up on the back. Then you find an area where you're kind of looking to mount this at. And this is going to help hold it in place, so when you do put the screws in, it's going to make life a lot simpler and easier to basically get that mounted in there. So anyway, we're going to mount this one right under here. So we'll remove the backing. Off of that one, and then we're just going to simply push up on that, and you want to hold it for a couple seconds so the adhesive works its magic. And then we're going to mount this one over here, so the same thing. Put that little adhesive back on there. And again, depending on how you're going to route your wires, and then let me just get this off the back there. Off there. Then we're going to mount this one. I think right away we got to flip this wire around so it's pointing more in. And then we're going to hold that for a couple seconds. Okay. Okay, so let's plug it in to test it out. So we'll plug it in, and we'll just hit the power button, and that will turn it on. And then you hit that, and it'll turn it off. And to get into pairing mode, when the lights are off, just hold the power button in for a couple seconds, and then you'll get this blinking. And what you want to do is you want to enter your MYPLUS app. And then you want to go to devices, add device, and then it's going to be looking for it. And then it's going to say cabinet light, so we're just going to hit add. And then you'll see the little icon in the middle circle around. Successful, we hit confirm. And then basically we go into our different modes. Then you can like dim it down, bring it all the way up so it's super bright. And then again you have different lights that you can work with, like you can put in like a soft light, eye protection, reading light, sleep mode, movie, or like work, so you get a bunch of different colors. So let's clean this wiring up, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're all done. So stay tuned. Okay, so here it is with all the wire mounted up underneath, and that was pretty simple to do. Basically what I did is I just put a couple screws up on the corner of the trim that I wrapped the wire around, kind of tuck it up underneath the cabinets, and I know it doesn't look great, but the wiring is basically out of the way. And then I used some leftover double-sided tape in the kit, and I basically mounted the wire up underneath there. And like you can see from back here, basically the wiring is invisible. And then I mounted a switch up underneath this part of the cabinet so you can manually turn it on and off, and then turn it back on. That gives you some nice light. And then working from the app, so that's working from the app, so that's working great. And then I said you can go into your different modes. Then turn it off and turn it back on. Anyway, Brian from Garage Mahal, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.